Have you ever wondered what actually goes through her mind when that rebound starts falling apart? Picture this. It's 2 in the morning. She's lying next to him, but she's not sleeping. He said something earlier that bothered her, something small. But it triggered a memory of you. And in that moment, something shifts. She starts comparing, not the big things, the things she never paid attention to before, the things she didn't even know she was looking for until they were gone. This is the moment most men never see, the moment when reality hits her, when the excitement of someone new wears off and she's left with a truth she wasn't ready for. Here's the thing. This moment is coming. Whether it's weeks from now or months, it's inevitable. And what she realizes in that moment, what she finally sees about you that she couldn't see before, that's what I'm going to break down in this video. Because once you understand this, you'll never question your worth again. Now, before I go further, let me be clear about something. This video is not about manipulation. It's not about playing games or trying to get her back. That's not what this is. This is about you understanding what's actually happening in her mind. Because when you understand the psychology, you stop questioning yourself. You stop wondering if you were the problem. You stop giving her power she hasn't earned. I've seen this pattern play out countless times. The way women process rejection, the way rebounds actually work, and what happens when reality catches up. It follows a very specific path. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So let's start with why rebounds are destined to fail from the beginning. Here's what most people don't understand about rebounds. When a woman jumps into something new right after you, she's not doing it because she's moved on. She's doing it because she hasn't. The feelings are still there. The confusion is still there. And instead of sitting with that discomfort, she looks for a distraction. A new face. New attention. New excitement. It feels like a solution. But it's not. Here's the psychology behind it. When someone ends a relationship, there's an emotional void, a gap where you used to be, and that gap creates discomfort. Most people can't handle that discomfort, so they try to fill it as fast as possible. That's what a rebound is. It's not a new chapter. It's a bandage on an open wound. But here's where it gets interesting. The new guy doesn't know he's a placeholder. He thinks he's the upgrade. He's showing up, trying to impress her, doing all the things he thinks she wants. And for a while, it works. The novelty distracts her. The attention feels good. But novelty fades. Attention becomes expectation. And when the shine wears off, something else takes its place. Comparison. She doesn't choose to compare. It happens automatically. And once it starts, it doesn't stop. That's the trap the new guy walks into. And that's where your advantage begins. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to walk you through the complete psychological journey she goes through when that rebound starts falling apart. Stage by stage. From the first cracks in the facade, to the flood of memories she can't escape, to the moment she realizes what she actually lost. By the end of this, you'll understand exactly what's happening in her mind. And more importantly, you'll understand why you're in a stronger position than you think. Let's start with the foundation. To understand what she realizes about you, you first need to understand why she did what she did. When a woman leaves a relationship, even if she initiated it, she doesn't feel relief. She feels loss. Even if she wanted out, even if she convinced herself it was the right decision, there's still a void. A space where the routine used to be, where the comfort used to be, where you used to be. And that void is uncomfortable. Most people think women rebound because they've moved on emotionally. That's not it. They rebound because they haven't. The rebound is an escape hatch. a way to avoid sitting alone with the weight of what just happened. Here's what's actually going on psychologically. When we lose something familiar, our brain goes into a kind of withdrawal. It's used to certain patterns, certain comforts, certain emotional responses, and when those disappear, it creates anxiety. The brain wants to restore equilibrium. Fast. So what does she do? She finds a replacement. Not because she's over you, but because she's not. The new guy is essentially an emotional painkiller. He numbs the discomfort. He fills the silence. He gives her something to focus on that isn't you. But here's the part most men miss. The new guy isn't competing with who you are now. He's competing with the memory of you, the version of you that exists in her mind. And that version, it's incomplete. It's fragmented. It's missing context. She remembers the arguments. She remembers the frustration. She remembers the reasons she told herself it wasn't working. But she doesn't remember, not yet, the things that actually mattered. The things she took for granted because they were always there. That's what the rebound can't replicate. Because the new guy doesn't know what to replicate. He doesn't know what she actually needs. He only knows how to perform. And performances have expiration dates. So here's where you need to shift your thinking. The rebound isn't proof that she's happy. It's proof that she wasn't ready to be alone. And that tells you everything about where her head is. She's not building something new. She's running from something old. And eventually, you can't outrun your own mind. That's when the cracks start to show. When the comparison begins, and when she starts to see you differently than she did before. Let's talk about what that looks like. At first, the rebound feels like it's working. She's distracted. She's busy. There's a new person saying new things, giving her attention she convinced herself she needed. For a few weeks, maybe even a couple of months, she believes she made the right choice. But then something shifts. It usually starts small. A moment that catches her off guard. Maybe he responds to something in a way that doesn't feel right. Maybe he makes a joke that falls flat. Maybe he handles a situation in a way that leaves her feeling unsettled. And in that moment, without meaning to, she thinks of you. Not the version of you she left. The version of you that would have handled it differently. The version she didn't appreciate when she had it. This is where the comparison trap begins. It's not a conscious decision. It's automatic. Her brain starts running simulations. What would he have done? How would he have reacted? Why does this feel different? And the more she compares, the more the cracks widen. Here's what you need to understand about this stage. She's not comparing him to you on purpose. She's not sitting there with a checklist. It's deeper than that. Her nervous system is comparing. Her emotional memory is comparing. The parts of her brain that remember safety and comfort are looking for patterns that aren't there. Because the new guy doesn't know what she needs. He only knows what she said she wanted. And those aren't the same thing. She said she wanted excitement. But what she actually needed was stability. She said she wanted passion. But what she actually needed was consistency. She said she wanted something different. But different doesn't mean better. And slowly, that realization starts to creep in. The new relationship doesn't feel wrong exactly. It just doesn't feel right. There's something missing. Something she can't name. Something that used to be there and now isn't. That something is you. Not the idea of you. Not the fantasy. The actual experience of being with someone who knew her in ways the new guy never will. And here's the thing about comparison. Once it starts, it compounds. Every small disappointment reminds her of something you did better. Every surface-level conversation reminds her of the depth she used to have. Every moment that feels hollow reminds her of moments that used to feel full. She doesn't want to admit it. But the rebound is starting to feel like a downgrade. And that's when the real memories start flooding back. This is the part you've been waiting for. Because up until now, we've talked about why rebounds fail and how comparison works. But here's where it gets personal. Here's where she starts thinking about you. Not as the ex she left behind, but as the man she's starting to realize she underestimated. It usually happens late at night. She's lying there, maybe next to him, maybe alone, and her mind starts drifting. Back to you. Back to moments she hasn't thought about in weeks. But now they're vivid. Now they mean something different. And here's what starts coming back to her. First, she remembers the safety. Not the exciting kind of feeling. The quiet kind. The kind she didn't notice when she had it because it was always there. The way she could say something vulnerable and you wouldn't judge her. The way she could have a bad day and you wouldn't take it personally. The way she could just exist around you without performing. She didn't call it safety back then. She called it boring. She called it predictable. But now, lying next to someone who doesn't know her, she realizes what that stability actually was. It was rare. Then she remembers the effort. Not the big gestures. The small ones. The ones she barely acknowledged at the time. The way you remembered things she mentioned once. The way you showed up when it mattered. The way you tried, even when she made it hard to try. The new guy doesn't do that. He's still in performance mode, still trying to impress her. And she realizes there's a difference between someone trying to win you and someone who already chose you. You weren't auditioning. You were present. Then she remembers the understanding. The conversations that went deeper than surface. The moments where you saw through her defenses. The times you knew what she needed before she said it. Not because you were perfect, but because you paid attention. The new guy pays attention too, but to the wrong things. He's watching what she shows him. You saw what she was hiding. And then comes the hardest realization. She starts to see her own role in what happened. The ways she pushed you away. The ways she tested you without giving you credit for passing. The ways she told herself she needed something different when really, she just didn't know how to appreciate what she had. That's the memory flood. That's what hits her when the rebound stops being a distraction and starts being a mirror. She doesn't just miss you. She misses who she was when she was with you. And she's starting to realize those two things might be connected. But here's what happens next. And this is the part most men don't understand. Here's what most men don't understand about this stage. When she realizes what she lost, she doesn't always act on it. She doesn't always reach out. She doesn't always come running back with an apology and a confession. And that confuses a lot of men. They think if she really realized it, she'd do something. She'd call. She'd text. She'd show up. But that's not how regret works. Regret comes with shame. And shame makes people hide. Think about it. She left you. She chose someone else. She convinced herself, and probably everyone around her, that she was making the right decision. And now she's realizing she was wrong. That's not easy to admit. Not to herself. And definitely not to you. So instead of reaching out, she does something else. She sits with it. She processes it alone. She carries the weight of knowing she made a mistake without being able to undo it. This is what I call the emotional hangover. It's the phase where the rebound is clearly not working, but she hasn't ended it yet. Where she knows what she lost, but she's not ready to face it. Where the memories keep coming, but she keeps pushing them down. And here's the part that matters most for you. During this phase, your silence becomes powerful. Not silence as a tactic. Not silence as a game. But silence as a reflection of your self-respect. The fact that you haven't chased her, haven't begged, haven't made it easy for her to come back without accountability. That says something. It tells her you have standards. It tells her you're not waiting around. It tells her that if she wants to come back, she'll have to earn it. And that changes how she sees you. Because the man she left, she thought she had him figured out. She thought she could leave and come back whenever she wanted. She thought your presence was guaranteed. But your absence proved her wrong. Now she's not just missing you. She's wondering if she lost you for good. And that uncertainty, it forces her to confront what you actually meant to her. This is where the power shifts. You're no longer the man she left behind. You're the man who moved forward without her. The man who didn't fall apart. The man who let her go without burning the bridge, but also without standing on it, waiting. And whether she reaches out or not, you need to understand something. Her realization isn't your responsibility. Her regret isn't your burden. What she does with it is her choice. But what you do with this knowledge, that's yours. Which brings us to the truth most men won't hear. And it might not be what you expect. Here's the truth. Most people won't tell you. And I need you to really hear this. Her realization doesn't change anything for you. Not really. I know that sounds harsh. I know part of you wants to hear that once she realizes what she lost, everything will be different. That she'll come back humbled, ready to appreciate you. That the story ends with her crawling back and you finally getting the recognition you deserved. But that's not the point. The point isn't whether she comes back. The point is whether you needed her. Here's the controversial truth. If your sense of worth depends on her realizing your value, then you never really had it in the first place. Real confidence doesn't wait for validation. Real strength doesn't need her regret to feel whole. She might come back. She might not. She might reach out in 6 months with some late-night text full of things she should have said before. Or she might stay silent forever, carrying the weight of what she lost without ever telling you. And either way, you're still the same man. The man who didn't chase. The man who didn't beg. The man who understood his worth without needing her to confirm it. That's the real power shift. Not waiting for her to see it, but knowing it yourself, regardless of what she does. Her realization is her journey. Your growth is yours. And the man who understands that, he's the one she'll never forget. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you been through this? Have you watched someone move on too fast, only to realize later what they lost? Or are you in the middle of it right now, wondering what's going through her mind? Drop a comment below. Tell me your story. I read every single one. And I'm not just saying that. I genuinely want to know what you're experiencing, because these videos aren't just content. They're conversations. And your perspective helps shape what we talk about next. This channel isn't just about understanding women. It's about understanding yourself. It's about becoming the kind of man who doesn't need anyone else to validate what he already knows. And if this video helped you see your situation differently, if it gave you some clarity or even just a little peace, do me a favor. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe if you haven't already, because we're just getting started. There's a lot more to unpack. A lot more psychology. A lot more patterns, and a lot more truths that most people won't say out loud. But here's what I want you to take with you today. You are not defined by how she treated you. You are not defined by whether she comes back. You are defined by what you do next. And the man who understands that, he's the one who wins. Every time. I'll see you in the next one.